Good evening, everyone. Welcome to This Week from Rockdale, and I am your host, Larry Cox, and I am not in Georgia. I am in West Virginia, and uh, glad to have you guys joining me that are joining me tonight. Just going to come on here and briefly talk about a few things. Jill Odom, hey, Jill, one of the things I'm going to talk about tonight is Terry Oates and some responses that he has sent back, people asking him about the graduation ceremonies that will be held outside of Rockdale County. I found some of his comments very interesting, and I do want to address those this evening a little bit. And I will readdress those on Sunday because and Sunday Jill said in half truths. Yes, exactly. So I am going to address those a little more in detail Sunday because I'm going to pull up some of his responses that he sent some of you guys because you were so gracious enough to share those emails with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share his response, and we're going to pick through that response on Sunday. And I think it's only fitting that we do that. And I find it very interesting. One of the things I found out is, he said in there that he had kept the school board advised of his actions, but he was the chief executive officer and it was his decision to make is the gist of what that email said. And I take exception with this because those board members are the elected people who actually represent the citizens and taxpayers of Rockdale County, and they should be more than just be informed of what's going on. The school board should actually be involved in making some of these decisions. And I've said this before. I know what the law says and how that goes about, what authority the school board has, but ultimately, the school board has the authority to employ the school superintendent. They work at the will of the school superintendent works at the will of the board of education. So, you need to set parameters. Hey, you know what? This is what we would like to see. And if we don't see these things, then we'll have to take that into consideration whether you continue working here or not. We need a tough school board, and we've got a bunch of pansies. Oh, I said that, and some of them are mad at me already, and I've had some bad looks out in public, and even some comments made to me. But you know what? It is what it is. I mean, I would rather say tough things and have some stern looks than fake being friends. And I don't dislike or hate anyone that's on the school board. I just don't think that they've done a very good job. And that's my opinion. I think we have um, one member who represents the county and the citizens, and we have you know six others or so that don't, and that's my opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion as a taxpayer and voter, and that if I don't want to vote for them, then I don't have to. Concerned citizen has joined us tonight, along with Jill Odom. Jill, so Terry Oates, made that comment that he, as the school superintendent and the chief executive officer, made that decision along with his administrative staff and advisors, and that he had kept the school board abreast and informed of what they were doing. Those school board members, and then what I would like to know, again, we're looking at Terry Oates does not live in Rockdale County. I would like to know how many of those advisors and other folks that he referred to, how many of them individuals do not live in Rockdale County? I've even had one individual who had sent some emails out and spoke with some people, and then she was even quite, "Why are you concerned about it? You don't even have a child in the school system." Well, that individual pays taxes in the school system. This is my thing about it, guys. They can't have it both ways. They can't tell you, well, you don't have a child, uh, in the school system, uh, if you don't have a child in the school system, you really shouldn't be saying anything, but they still want your money. Cheryl, he lives in Henry County. Uh, Terry Oates lives in Henry County. So, but you can't have it both ways, Terry Oates and that the Board of Education, the clown posse. Can't have it both ways. You can't say that you don't have a voice in Rockdale County if you don't have kids in school, but then say we're going to get your money and it's your responsibility to pay for the school system. If I'm paying for it, I got a say in it. And that's point blank. If you've got skin in the game, and that means you're paying through tax dollars for this subpar education that we have here in Rockdale County, then you have every right to question what that school board is doing with your tax dollars. And then they mentioned the fact about that the graduates they charge them fees as far as paying for the graduation and such. We looked at the numbers in Rockdale County. We talk about the number of kids that live in poverty in Rockdale County, and we talk about what the poverty level of the school system is. So nothing. This is not. So how are those kids that are living in poverty paying their family? Or are we doing it with East Plus Tech? Are they getting scholarships or something? I mean, and I'm concerned about this stuff, and I'm really worried about what's going on in Rockdale County with everything as we're looking at it right now. I'm concerned about the decisions that are being made by the Board of Education and the lack of uh, decision making abilities of our board. Yeah, you're right. He may be the executive officer and he's in charge to the day-to-day operation. But remember, Board of Education members, he is employed by you. You do have a say. You can, as a group, say, Mr. Oates, we would like to see these things happen. We would like to see the schools going in this direction. We would like to see these things. You can make these demands of him. And if he doesn't do what you, the boss, which we, the citizens, elected you to look out for our interest, if he doesn't do what we ask, then you send him packing back to Henry County without his company vehicle and be on his own. Charlotte, I did say that this was Dr. Oates' decision. The board was only informed. And that's my problem with this. This board is lackadaisical. This board does not take their job serious. I would ask that the members of this board resign and let people be on that board who will have some intestinal fortitude. And if Terry Oates doesn't do a better job, they will can him and send him down the road. That's what we need to do. Was his concerned citizens, families traveling from out of state will need 3 days. I mean, I'm not a fan of the graduating in the middle of the week either. I think it should be weekend activities. I think that's something we do on Saturdays and Sundays. I think that I think they said that the capacity over at Springfield was like 3,100. That would be probably 4 tickets a person. I mean, when I graduated from high school many moons ago, I mean, I think that's I got 3 or 4 tickets per person. We graduated in a gym, and I mean, we didn't have a large class like these high schools do, but and this thing about it, not everybody brings all the people that they can. You start doing this a few weeks early, and as people say, well, I'm not going to use all my tickets, those tickets get reissued back into the pool, and people who want to bring additional people, then they're allowed to bring additional peoples. Um, you know, I think it's only fitting that graduates, I mean, they graduate from the county they live in. You've got to show. We all talk about this. The county commission even says, shop the rock, and so we've got some numbers. I know one of our people asked for some numbers the other day, and they said it was such a fluctuating thing they weren't able to give that number. But Jill said that they all get up to like 10 tickets, and it's like 450 would be the max that anybody would they would do. So that that's the way it is. So somebody had mentioned something about viewers not showing up. I actually didn't advertise the show tonight, so that's why we may be down a little bit in viewership. Because I wasn't certain I was going to make it back to the house this evening to do the show, because I had several things that I'm doing up here in West Virginia. So I was able to make it back, able to come on a little bit late. Like I said, Sunday's show will be advertised. We'll put up there what we're going to talk about. We'll actually go over this stuff again that we're doing. And I think, it's very important that Rockdale County citizens are given chances, given the option to know what's going on in the county. Like I said, the Board of Education, I think, has dropped the ball. They've got an out of control superintendent. And this is one of the things he said, and I want to make this, statement. He said that there were people that were, in the email, that misleading information, incorrect information. And from what I gathered, the only information that was out there was what was on the bulletin, that it was going to be all 3 graduations at New Birth. They was not going to be in Rockdale County, and that the superintendent had made the decision and had only advised the school board. Those were the things that I had said. I hadn't heard anybody else that communicates with me or say anything other than that. So there was nothing that I said that was misinformation or partial information. It's exactly what he says in his email responses back to people who have asked questions. So don't you find it amazing that that's one of the things that these clowns, the characters, like to do? They like to immediately start saying it's misinformation. That's one of the new buzzwords out there. It's misinformation. Well, no, it was correct information, and you're just trying to say, well, there was misinformation. You're wanting to set everything straight. That's what we need to look at. Is there was no misinformation. Anything that I had said was accurate information. Anything that other people had emailed and asked were accurate. It was accurate information, and they just had to double down and explain it. I don't think they believed that anyone would question their decision on this. Frankly, that they're the all powerful can do what the all powerful wants to do. I am the chief executive. I made this decision, and I informed the school board of what I was doing. Well, school board, who works for who? Who works for who? And then one of the reasons that we have to do this is because they're going to be there all day, and and they need a meal catered to them, and they need limousines and stuff like that taking them there. So you got to remember, you've got those individuals. They've got to have their catered meal and all that, because they're going to be there all day, and and it's just so I don't agree with any of this. I don't agree with these decisions being made behind closed doors, because it was made behind closed doors. Don't say it was made in the open and out front. Was not discussed at an open forum. This is my problem with government in general, making these decisions behind closed doors and saying, well, it was my job. No, it was not your job to make these decisions without involving the taxpayers of Rockdale County. So Jill's got a good point here I want to put up here. Um, Scheduling graduation during the school day during exams eliminates all of the teachers from helping attending, seeing their kids walk. That's true. These teachers have a lot invested. They've invested time, relationships. They want to see these students succeed, and not able to do it. Not able to do it. Guys, we're going to talk about this topic a whole lot more on Sunday, because I do want to bring up, I want to show the letters, the email responses. I want to show you the arrogance, in my opinion, of these responses. Arrogance as well, and I describe it total arrogance. Shame. Shame on you, Terry Oates. Shame on you, Board of Education. Shame on you for just thinking you can do what you will and there be no consequences. Like I said, I'm hoping that we're right now looking into recruiting 5 individuals to run for school board in 24 that will challenge these individuals that are on the school board now and get them out of office. We can get a group of individuals in office who will actually say, you work for us. We'd like to see these things happen. We don't have the power to implement them, but we do have the power to hire somebody who will implement them. That's what I see. So, guys, let's move on. Talk about a little bit something different here right now. So we're going to talk a little bit about some BOC stuff and some of their shenanigans moving forward. I see that I'd seen a few posting about the housing development that has been proposed for Honey Creek area, that they keep reducing the amount of homes that they want to build out there, hoping that that's going to start, appeasing some people, and they'll, quit complaining and stop saying this project doesn't need to happen. Well, I think with what happened with the little cold spell we had the electric shortage. We've already shown we've got potential water issues for Rockdale County. We've got sewage issues for Rockdale County. With rain that we just had, I think we've shown we've got stormwater deficiencies in Rockdale County. Rockdale County is not ready for expansion and growth. Remember, you can't grow land. So that's why they want to just shove and jam these homes one on top of each other. And that's the wrong approach. But like I said, in 24, you're going to be able to do something about that, voters and citizens of Rockdale County. You're going to be able to decide for yourselves if you want Rockdale County to go in that direction, or if you're going to decide to elect some independent individuals who will be wanting to represent people, not party, and put the needs of the citizens of Rockdale County first, not the needs of those in office who look to financially gain from things that happen behind the scenes. And that's what I think. You know what? We got to look for people who don't need the money and don't need the job. We need to look for people who have a sufficient income to sustain themselves, and they don't need the income from these political offices to maintain daily living. That they're doing it because they want to help their community, not because they want to do it to have a job. And that's the difference, guys. That's what we need to look at moving in 24. So the Rockdale Voter, which I co-founded with Ken Holmes, we are going to be holding a town hall the week of the 23rd. The legislature goes back into session the week of the 9th. So Ken and I will be having our email drive back up and running for you to be able to send your emails requesting the legislature to introduce and pass legislation adopting a senior exemption for all property taxes for senior citizens in Rockdale County. So, and we are going to have a town hall discussing that, and that will be the week of the 23rd. The time and location will be announced. Hopefully sometime, it'll be the beginning of next week. We will announce that and start promoting it. You need to let your friends, your families, and your neighbors know that that's what we're going to do. So we're really looking forward to doing that. We're looking forward to making that happen because we really want you, the citizens of Rockdale County, to have a voice and a say. Now, we're not only going to do that town hall, but we're looking at doing that town hall the week of the 23rd. Then 2 or 3 weeks later, now my eyes, sorry guys, are just bothering me tonight. We're looking at having another town hall in a different part of the county. We want to have multiple town halls, the Rockdale voter, because that way we can see if there's any progress and if we need to really hammer that legislature on what they're doing. And remember, guys, they will be up for election in 24 too. And if they don't invoke the will of the people, then we have the opportunity to oust them out of office also. And that's what we need to do. We need to take advantage of our capabilities of electing people at the ballot box, because we have the ultimate say if we are just courageous enough to use it. And you know, citizens of Rockdale County, you have the ability to change and reshape Rockdale County, but only you can do it with your vote and deciding not to keep individuals in office who don't represent your needs and your desires, but they represent their wants. That is exact. They represent their wants. And that's got to stop. So, guys, I just wanted to come on here briefly tonight, talk to you about those few things and let you know Sunday we will have an in-depth show. We will have we will be doing some sharing some documents. We'll have those emails from Terry Oates. We're going to go through those emails and dispel the myth and talk about the truth, because we're going to find out what misinformation. There was no misinformation, but there was misleading information from the Board of Education, from Terry Oates. So, guys, thank you for joining me for this short show tonight. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you Sunday. We'll be advertising the show, promoting the show. Look forward to seeing you. Thanks, and see you